You eating again, love? Well, that was an accident waiting to happen, wasn't it?
It's phenomenal.
That was superb.
I feel like I'm on top of the world. I think Lisbon may be my favourite city now.
We've just stopped at McDonald's to try out some of the Portuguese cuisine, hey? Kids want a McDonald's in every country we visit.
Well, it's been a big driving day today, hasn't it? Or
Yeah.
it will be by the time we're done, so
It's quick and easy.
offer the supply.
McDonald's it is.
So good! 5 meals, so much paper, I feel like we've killed the planet.
Are you eating again?
For goodness sakes.
This is Big and Tasty comes with bacon and cheese on the, you see that? On the roll. Don't come like that in our country, do they? Right, that's lunch done at McDonald's. Let's see if we can find a place where I can buy a cassette for the toilet now. Okay, top tip for you. We were driving, wondering why it's taking so long to get to Lisbon. And wondering why these roads were so bad. And then also wondering why it weren't taking us across the big bridge. We had avoid tolls ticked on Google Maps. So it's a much quicker drive now, hopefully on much better roads, and hopefully we can show you the big monument when we go across the bridge.
Right, here's a bottom one.
Yay, we're on a much smoother road now. We've just taken the A2 to Lisbon and it's going to be about an hour quicker than it would have been without the tolls. So take the tolls, guys, learn from our mistake.
7, 20, 30.
Obrigado. So there you go, €7.30, and it saved us an hour, so well worth taking the tolls. Right, I found a motorhome dealer, and it has an accessory shop. Let's go in and see if we can get the Thetford cassette that we need. We've got a cassette and a seat. It's a fresh up kit, comes with a cassette and a seat. Right, let's get this in and get back on the road.
As we're heading to Lisbon from the south, we're about to drive past a giant, absolutely enormous statue of Christ the King, which sits on the south side or the left bank of the river and overlooks the whole city of Lisbon.
Thought you'd be the one for me. Won't you tell me how you feel? I shared my dream with you until the morning. Everybody else have done it right. Coming out to see me try. As I turn away and cry, you run up to me and take my hand. I wish you were the one who made me whole, and I won't be turned. You and I should be the ones to learn. All I want to say, ain't no good to look the other way.
Okay, looks like they got placement for us. They need to see our COVID certificates. And Eddie and Harry need to do another test each again. But George is all right. Right, checked in. It was a bit of a palaver. The woman just ignored me there. Just one guy trying to tackle the queue on his own, so I'm not very impressed with the check-in procedure. €128 for 2 nights. So €64 a night, which is not too bad considering we're in the centre of Lisbon. And then €250 each for the test, so an extra €5 for the test. He's given me a pitch. He's allocated me a pitch. I just, fingers crossed, we can fit on there.
Be the ones to learn. All I want to say, ain't no good to look the other way.
Good morning. We're heading into Lisbon for a free city tour today. but this one's going to cost me, because George fell off the bench last night and hurt his leg, and he's had all kind of dramas this morning. So we've managed to get him going with a bit of cowpole and bribery. I've bribed him, said if we can find a Five Guys, you can have Five Guys for lunch, and it seems to have done the trick. So let's go Lisbon. Right, let's order an Uber again. Uber XL. Connecting to the driver, and Pedro's on his way.
Our tour guide today is Rita, and she is incredible. She's given us so many facts and dates and figures, but it's all in context and explaining the stories behind why the history of the city has evolved the way it has. This church survived, well, not the roof, but it survived. It was a convent, and it survived the 1755 earthquake. It's phenomenal. The elevator behind me was designed by a student of Monsieur Eiffel, who built the Eiffel Tower. It's closed at the moment because it's a very crowded attraction, so they're just keeping it closed during COVID times. Now's a nice time to come and visit because you can see it without so many of the crowds.
And many local restaurants there, like traditional family-run places. So very nice, and with terraces, very nice. And you can have lunch there and then continue up to Alfama, for instance. And it's
The tour finishes right here in the square, and throughout the tour Rita has shared snippets of information about the revolution, and the revolution started also here in this square. It was a pacifist revolution where carnations were grabbed and put in guns, and then the carnation became a red carnation became such a symbol of the change that was going to happen, such a wonderful, gentle way to overthrow 48 years of dictatorship. She has brought so much history to life that I think Lisbon may be my favourite city now. After 2.5 hours walking around in the sun, I'm really pleased to be able to top up the water for free like this. There's even a dog bowl to refresh the water, and because it's got a hole in, the water just drains through.
Are you the Green Goblin, sir? I know, it's the Green Goblin. I knew it. Come on, one like this. Come on, criminal. You, quickly. Lady, they are criminals. These two.
Very criminal.
And another one. Fly with me. Fly. Fly. And one like this. And look at this, girls. Criminals.
George chose burgers and tacos for lunch, didn't you, Georgie? And what are you having?
I'm going to have the codfish and shrimp tacos.
I'm going to have beef tacos. What are you having, Georgie?
I am having a classic cheddar burger.
Codfish and shrimp tacos. It's going to be messy, isn't it?
Tasty? What you expected?
Yeah. It's codfish cream, so it's like, I think it's codfish and like a creme fraiche, I think. So it's really tasty. He did warn me against it. He says it's a very Portuguese flavour. Bring it on.
Right, that's lunch done. On with the tour.
wandered into the area called Alfama. Fado music, which is a really uniquely Portuguese style of song. It's quite mournful, lots of emotions, started right here in this area of the city. It's even been identified by UNESCO as a unique feature, an intangible feature of the local culture.
Do you reckon I'll get the camper down there?
We've walked up the hill, it's all hills here, 7 of them in fact, up the hill to the Castle of St George. Rita gave us a fantastic tip. She said, don't go in, it's not worth the money. You're going to spend €10 a person. What you're going to see is what was rebuilt in the 40s and 50s.
So he goes to the castle, destroys the original ruins and builds a new one on top into a very Portuguese medieval style, and that's the one you can see, a castle from the 40s. Very interesting, skip it.
She said it's better just to come up here and walk around and see the streets and see where people still live and see the true Portugal that's still here, not the rebuilt, manufactured Portugal on the inside.
George, what do you think of Lisbon?
I think it's very big, first of all, and very interesting. There's a lot of history to be known, and the tour was very good, really. Definitely, I'll go check it out.
Like a minute and a half that way is the castle, and we're still within the top of the castle grounds. But look at the view down onto the river. I feel like I'm on top of the world. We've been wanting to get one of the tarts for the whole time we're in Lisbon. So this one was the winner of the 2019 awards. I guess in 2020 was written off, so we'll go in here and get ours here. He's making them fresh. I don't think one's going to be enough each, so I'm going to get 2 each. These tarts are from Santo Antonio Pastorella. That's Pastaria. They're blessed by St Anthony. Or you bite it, think of a miracle, and St Anthony should grant it.
You eating again, love?
I am now.
I really love the creme brulee anyway.
It's the crispiest, flakiest pastry with custard and then a creme brulee topping on the very top. I cannot believe how good that is. That's amazing. Want some? But you can't, I'm having it.
Go on, George. What's it like?
Should I say my miracle out loud?
No.
Okay.
How is it, George?
It's not bad.
Yeah. You like? That was superb. That was really good.
I'm eating mine really slowly so I can savour every last moment. It's gorgeous.
You got us 2 each anyway.
Well,
They
got
are-
me 6 and you lot 1 each.
They are fantastic, and if you do come here, you must try them, guys. He's edging through. Well, that was an accident waiting to happen, wasn't it?
In the evenings, this area comes alive, and the fado musicians are actually out on the streets, especially since COVID. So you can walk around and really take in the sounds and the enjoyment and the food of everything that's happening around you. Alfama is some of the oldest part of the city still remaining, because in 1755 a giant earthquake over 9 on the Richter scale hit the area, and a tidal wave came and washed away what was left. They had 2 choices when they rebuilt, either to rebuild what was already there or to absolutely raze it to the ground and start again. they did that. They took the second option and they used wooden structures to make them earthquake proof in the future, so they'd flex with the movement of the land, and then put brick on the outside to stop fire coming through. In 1755 going onwards, this became one of the most modern, forward-thinking cities in the world. It'd gone from being the richest, one of the richest, to being one of the poorest within 5 minutes. As they rebuilt, they were really forward-thinking and progressive in their plans for what was going to replace the city. I love the Portuguese pride. Everything started in Portugal. Glamping and hitchhiking and even the world's best spy came from Portugal. You have to come on the tour and find out for yourself exactly what those references mean. But Ian Fleming was here and it was a hotbed of spies, and that's where he first started writing Casino Royale.
Good old Uber. Our taxi driver is 1 minute away. Right, it's been a great day walking around Lisbon today. And we're back at the campsite and going to check out the pool, which has got a diving board, and the boys are really excited. Go for it. Come on, Georgie, let's see you jump. Did you reach the bottom?
Close.
Okay. Small diving board, 3.5 meters deep. That was a nice dive. Have you done that before?
A couple of times.
Liking this site?
It's brilliant. It's brilliant.
Yeah. Anyway, we're going to have a swim now, guys. Chill out this evening and... I might film something this evening, but we'll show you around this campsite tomorrow because it is a cracker.
Yeah.
And it's a quirky one. Yeah. Can you hear that? It's the restaurant across the way, just outside the on the outskirts of the campsite, which has got some live entertainment, and the restaurant looks fantastic. It really does look lovely, and Lindsay really wanted to eat there, but alas, now the kids this evening, we weren't over hungry, but the kids ate at the restaurant on the campsite, and that was a little bit bizarre. It's not expensive. It was under 15 quid, and they've all ordered, and it was 3 meals. But they did burn Harry's pizza, but didn't present it, then tried to cook him another one, and he was waiting whilst George and Eddie ate their food, and all Harry wanted to do was play football. But when the pizza did come through, it was okay, and the food was all okay. The chips were, you know, not great, but they were all okay, but it was cheap. They're certainly not getting rich on the food in the restaurant here. We do like this campsite, and we're going to show you around it tomorrow morning.
I have this romantic image of doing yoga somewhere beautiful and rustic and lovely, under the trees or on the beach, or I don't know, just somewhere really natural and beautiful. The problem is it's bony and knobbly and uncomfortable. So this is where I wanted to do yoga, somewhere up there where it's beautiful and lovely, but I'm just going to do it just there where it's flat-ish. That'll do. Good stretch today. Get the old muscles in my back working again, because they've been tough. They've been really tight and sore. There's only one campsite in Lisbon. On the edge of the city is a great big park called the Parque Florestal de Monsanto. Okay, it's enormous. And within it is this fantastic campsite. It's quite a big campsite. It's got a lot of pitches and they're well spaced. It's a really, really fantastic place to make your base when you're visiting Lisbon, because it's only about 10-15 minutes in a taxi into the city centre. Don't be put off by how concrete and a little bit dated everything is. It's fantastic. It is concrete and it is dated, but I think that kind of adds to the charm. There's a bit of a Soviet, post-Soviet concrete vibe to this place, and it's just, I love it. The pool complex is fantastic. It's really big and spacious. There's lots of areas around it to sunbathe or hide in the shade. My boys are loving the diving boards, obviously. And right now it's quite busy because there are groups of, I think it must be some sort of kids camp that's happening at the moment. We saw them last night when they were going to their tents, and we've seen them today, and they're having a massive amount of fun in the pool. You can tell George is my boy, he is loving the diving boards. I need to teach him to point his toes better though. As well as its own toilets, the pool area has a really nice little snack bar. You can sit inside or out and enjoy your lunch. Harry's favourite part of the whole campsite is this pitch. He's been up here the last 2 evenings just kicking a ball about with other kids on the site, and now I think he's somehow plugged his way into the kids club and he's having a go at the zorbing football. Is that what you call it? I miss the days when the boys were little enough to enjoy a park like this. George would have spent hours in here when he was tiny. Absolutely hours. We've been to some really enormous campsites all over Europe, and they're modern campsites, and what you find is your pitches are right next door to each other. There might be a nice little hedge or a fence or something between you, but you're right on top of each other. You don't get that here. It's really easy to forget that this is a city campsite. You feel like you're amongst nature, in the trees, and I don't know if we can give you a good enough idea of the scale and the sheer size of this place and how much room you have, but I hope we can. There's quirky things like this all the way around. Steve seems to think that this is a municipal campsite, and I kind of agree with him in some ways. They could spend a lot of money upgrading it, but I think the charm is that it is quite old and a little bit tired. You don't need the fanciest toilet facilities. You need fresh, clean, functional toilets and showers, and that's what this place has in spades. It's got so many toilet blocks and shower blocks. I don't think I'll ever have to queue for the showers here. The boys came down to eat at this restaurant last night, and they just picked a number and it was delivered to them. It's very canteen-esque. It's not fine dining. It was great for them last night. There's also a little mini market inside it as well. Again, it's like a campsite, an old campsite mini market, so it's not got everything that you're going to be expecting, but it's got all the basics. It's got enough to get you through. I need to take some time out of my swimming time to do some laundry, but I'm not ready to do that yet. We'll push on and have fresh pants in a day or two. We decided to come here because this was the only campsite we could find in Lisbon, and the reviews were that it's a bit tired and a bit dated, but it's not. It's just from a different era. I think when you drive through here, you're shocked a little bit by the concrete, and then you see the trees, and you see the ancient trees that are providing really good shade for each pitch, and you realise that this has been here for a long time, from a different era, and you're stepping back into time to enjoy it.
1961, I think, Linz.
Yep, 1961, and I don't think it's changed at all in that time.
Right, quick look round the toilet block while we're here. Toilets over here, sinks, and showers here. There's an outside area for washing here and washing up.
This pitch is fully serviced, so we've got water and a drainage sink as well, so that's really handy just outside the door.
And I found it handy to clean a camper van on the pitch. When I clean this thing, I try and break it down into 4 quarters because it's big and daunting, you know, just to clean the whole thing. So when I got here, I cleaned the front and I cleaned the rear, which was the dirtiest. And me and Ed have quickly just gone over both sides and just given them a quick wash off now. Just go and fill up with water, check out and hit the road.
Lisbon, you were fabulous. Now we're going to push on up the coast and find a beach stop.